All right, everybody, welcome back for another deep dive. And this time we're looking at something that I know a lot of folks in tech are thinking about. Um, with the rise of AI and all these crazy tools like chatgpt that can seemingly, do it all.
Right.
Like write a whole program with just a few prompts.
Yeah.
And, it really makes you wonder, like, what does that mean for the way we test skills?
Yeah. Okay.
Like, how do we know if someone's actually good at their job or if they're just really good at talking to a robot?
Exactly.
So that's what we're digging into today with this excerpt from The Evolving Landscape of Technical Assessments. And let me tell you, this thing is packed.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's got some really thought-provoking stuff about how the whole game is changing.
Definitely. And I think one of the most striking points the source makes right off the bat is that, these language models, they're not just a tool. They're almost like a whole new kind of competitor almost.
Oh, totally. And that's what I find so fascinating is it's not just that AI can write code, it's that it's changing what we even consider to be a coding skill.
Right.
Does this mean we're moving into a world where understanding and directing AI is the real skill? Like, that's the key.
Right. And that's a huge shift because, like you said, it's not just about, being able to write an algorithm from scratch anymore. It's about being able to think critically about a problem, break it down, figure out how AI can help you solve it.
Right.
And then actually, communicate that solution effectively to other people, to your team, to your clients.
Okay, so it's not about replacing coders with AI. It's about coders learning to work with AI.
Exactly. And the source actually uses this great analogy.
Oh, yeah.
They talk about calculators. They say, calculators didn't kill math skills. They just changed what was important to assess.
I like that.
Right. So it's not that we don't need mathematicians anymore. We just need mathematicians who can use calculators effectively.
Okay, so how do we actually measure that? How do we test for these new skills that are emerging?
Well, the source suggests a few really interesting things. Like, for example, they talk about using real-world simulations.
Oh, okay.
So instead of giving someone a coding challenge in a vacuum, in a controlled environment,
Right.
you throw them into a situation that's more like what they'd actually face on the job.
Oh, okay. Give me an example.
Sure. Like, imagine you're a developer and you get called in because there's a major system failure in the cloud infrastructure.
Oh, wow.
And you have to figure out what went wrong and how to fix it.
Okay, yeah. That's a lot more pressure than just, writing a simple function.
Exactly. And it's also a lot more realistic, right? Because in the real world, you're not always going to have all the information you need up front.
True.
You're going to have to think on your feet. You're going to have to improvise.
And work with other people, probably.
Exactly. And that brings us to another really important point that the source emphasizes, which is the importance of collaboration and communication skills.
Yeah. It feels like those skills get overlooked sometimes, especially in tech. Like, people just assume that if you can code, you can do the job.
Right. And that's definitely changing.
Okay, so is the source saying that these so-called soft skills are now even more important because AI can handle the hard technical stuff?
I think so, yeah. Because at the end of the day, even if you're the most brilliant coder in the world, if you can't explain your ideas clearly to your team, if you can't work effectively with others, you're not going to be as successful as someone who can.
Right. So how do we actually assess these skills? Like, how do we know if someone's a good communicator or a good collaborator?
Well, the source suggests things like incorporating group projects into the hiring process or having candidates give presentations.
Okay, so like actually seeing how they interact with others.
Exactly. And I think that's really valuable because it gives you a much better sense of how someone would actually perform on the job.
Than just looking at their code.
Right.
Okay, but here's something that I'm really curious about.
Yeah.
The source talks about tools to detect AI use in assessments. Like if someone's using ChatGPT to help them cheat on a coding test.
Right.
But isn't that just going to become a cat and mouse game?
Totally.
Like, people are going to find ways around those tools, and then the tools are going to have to get more sophisticated.
Absolutely. And it becomes this arms race almost.
Yeah. And what about the ethical side of it?
Right.
Like, is it even right to try to police how people solve problems?
Yeah. I mean, I think that's a really complex question, and I don't think there's an easy answer.
Okay. So what's the takeaway here?
Well, I think the source does make one thing clear, which is that technology can't completely replace human judgment. Interviews, portfolios, understanding a candidate's personality and how they'd fit into a team,
Right.
those are all still incredibly important.
So for anyone listening who's thinking about a career in tech.
Yeah.
This means you have a chance to really showcase what makes you unique.
Totally.
Beyond just your technical skills.
Right.
Your experience, your communication style, your approach to problem solving.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the things that AI can't replicate.
Exactly.
So to sum it up, it feels like technical assessments are in this weird in-between phase.
Yeah.
They're not going away, but they're definitely evolving to focus on these higher level skills that set us apart from AI.
Absolutely. And here's what I want to leave you with.
Okay.
Don't just focus on mastering the latest tech tool. Cultivate those human skills, critical thinking, communication, collaboration. Those are the things that will make you truly valuable no matter what crazy advancements come next.
Awesome advice. Thanks for breaking it all down for us.
My pleasure.
And to everyone listening, we'll catch you on the next deep dive.
Yeah, bye. Bye.